What's good, y'all? It's your boy Third Degree. We're back with more Ratchet News. Well, some of it's ratchet, some of it's not, but we still got to speak on it. So let's go.
End it off. This ain't ratchet, but you know, the Michael Jackson movie is coming real soon, and I can't wait. Looks like April 24th, 2026. And if this is his nephew, man, it's about to be real. All right, moving on. To quote the homie Pac, I see no changes. All I see is racist faces. I mean, he spit this back in like, what, 96, 97, no, 95, 96, 94. You know what I mean? Hey, man, he was a prophet ahead of his time. Moving on. They're saying men who marry after 35 had the lowest divorce rates of any group. I hope this is so. All right, moving on. T.I. announces he's prepping to drop his final album. Hey, he cut off the braids and got back to snapping. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm loving this new T.I. Let him know. All right, moving on. Kendall Jenner draws millions instantly as she lounges naked on IG. When all else fails, them Kardashians and Jenners are going to get naked. Sex sells for them, right? That's what they got famous for. But hey, moving on. Kanye West apologizes for racist remarks and blames bipolar disorder. You know, he was racist towards blacks and Jewish people. You know what I mean? Are you guys buying it? All right, moving on. Shout out to Shador Sanders, named as a Pro Bowl replacement. All right, salute. All right, moving on. Drake gives his fans an IG selfie, letting them know that Iceman's on the way. Can he please stop with these fruity selfies, man? Do a manly selfie. You know what I'm saying? Cut out the duck lips, my nigga. All right, moving on. Prayers are going out to the Blind Side star Quentin Aaron as he was hospitalized and is on life support after falling at home, man. I kicked it on set with him before, you know, saying he's a real cool dude, so I'm definitely praying for him, man. So prayers up, man. Healing energy, King. Get well soon. All right, moving on. Venezuela's acting president says she has had enough of U.S. orders. Interesting. Moving on. Well, before we do, you better be careful, man. Trump has been known to kidnap presidents and whatnot for no reason, you know? All right, we're moving on. They're saying OJ's daughter, Sydney, is living like in a dodgy neighborhood in Florida, you know, after fleeing LA. Man, I'm prayers out there, man. I pray for her and her brother. You know what I mean? That just has to be horrific. And I would like to talk with her one day if she's open to talk, you know? Moving on. There's a video shows of a 19-month child flying out of a car in Orange County, mother arrested as she should. You know what I mean? Why didn't you lock up your baby? All right, moving on. Guy Fieri reveals why he changed his entire look and spiky blonde hair for 56th birthday. I mean, look, he's doing it for the Super Bowl commercials. So I can't wait. He looks like a complete regular guy. You know what I mean? Moving on. Earlier this week, January 26th, you know, Kobe Bryant passed away in 2020. You know what I'm saying? So 6 years later, man, we're still mourning you. R.I.P. King. All right, moving on. Brandy crowned black music icon, a vocal Bible to receive major honor ahead of 2026 Grammys. About time, long overdue. Love Brandy. Moving on. LeBron's petty for this. There's Stephen A. Smith, Jeannie Buss, and Skip Bayless, and he said 5% dinner, 95% talking about me. Grimy, right? Moving on. Shout out to the Isley Brothers as they receive a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Long overdue. Legends. You know what I'm saying? Definitely legends. All right, moving on. Halle Berry to star in the films. The President is Missing, and Apple and Bad Cop TV. Man, it's looking kind of crazy, right? And now Bill Clinton wrote this? Interesting. Moving on. Hispanic man disguised himself as a black man to evade ICE agents. Hey, man, you got to do what you got to do, right? It's crazy that it has to come to this point. But moving on. But speaking of which, Melania Trump calls for unity after Minneapolis shootings in a rare interview. Like, kind of ironic, but your husband is saying otherwise. And he's doing otherwise, you know what I'm saying? But moving on. Real quick, kind of ironic, right? Two immigrant women who are married to men who say they oppose immigration. With Melania being from Russia and Vance's wife being from India. The irony, right? All right, moving on. Nicki Minaj was at a Trump summit, something, whatever, and I am probably the president's #1 fan. This is a quote from Nicki Minaj. And this is the award that she received. But we all know why she did it. She shows off her Trump gold card, which means Nicki is no longer considered an illegal immigrant. This card grants her U.S. residency. So she got up there kissing the ass, sucking wang wang, and holding the hands with the president, all for residency. Yeah. This is a well-deserved award for Nicki Minaj. You know what I mean? Moving on. It's being reported that Bill Cosby admits that he had 7 Quaalude prescriptions to drug women, but this was in a court deposition and they took it out of context. So there's definitely more to this. We'll break it down on a later show, just not today. But moving on. Rampage Jackson had to take a break while training jiu-jitsu with the woman because he was getting too freaked out. No, which means he was getting a woody, you know what I mean? She was applying pressure on him, you know what I mean? And he was rising to the occasion. Hey, but that's just my take. Moving on. 50 Cent a bully, man. He highlights Christian Combs' pending assault case amid social media feud. But he also said this. There's this debate going on if Lloyd Banks is better than Fabulous, and 50 weighed in. He said both of them ain't did no work, man. He cold for that, right? But I like Fab. Fab got bars, and so does Lloyd Banks. But I probably got to give it to Fab on this one. My opinion. Moving on. Roy Archimar shuts down rumors that he's dating Doja Cat. He says, man, funk no. I don't blame him for this one, yo. She look good, but she a weirdo. And she does all-branded stuff, you know what I mean? But I feel him. All right, moving on. Olympic gold medalist Sha'Carri Richardson was arrested for driving over 100 miles per hour in Florida. You're supposed to run track, not run it, in your car. Use your feet on the track, not the pedal to the metal, yo. Hey, prayers out to her. Moving on. Former CNN anchor Don Lemon arrested by federal agents today. Why? Moving on. Eve awarded long overdue Grammy for the Roots 1999 classic, You Got Me, long overdue. Moving on. How they're saying that Remy was right about Nicki, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, maybe she was. Remy's still cold for what she's doing, but she was right about this. All right, moving on. New Epstein documents reference allegation involving Donald Trump and an underage girl. Moving on. A former Illinois sheriff's deputy sentenced to 20 years for the unaliving of Sonia Macy. He says he acting unprofessional. No, you acting more than unprofessional, bro. I hope you get the help that you need. All right, moving on. A corny-ass group in Philadelphia is forced to drop the Black Panther name as they should. They're a bunch of cornballs, right? Moving on. Earlier this week, it was J. Cole's birthday, and he dropped the birthday blizzard, whatever it is. It was cool. What did y'all think? You know what I'm saying? As he preps to drop the fall off February 6th. So, And Maul is wanting him to address why he stopped talking with Drake and the Kendrick feud, like why he backed out, but we'll see. This is J. Cole we're talking about. Moving on. Last but not least, RIP to Catherine O'Hara. Yes, she was the mother in Home Alone, you know what I'm saying? And, we all fell in love with her, man. She was a good mom in that movie. So prayers out to her, a legend in Hollywood with some other movies like Beetlejuice, so shout out to her and RIP. All right, y'all. Well, let's get the show started. We got our guest coming up, Bobby Ross Avila, Grammy Award winner from San Bernardino to Super Bowl to Grammys. You know what I mean? So from right to Usher, we got him coming up. Be on the lookout.
Anyway, I'm your boy Third Degree, and that's been your Ratchet Newz. Enjoy the show.